Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' and Steve. About to react to this ABBA and Preach vid. This is titled The Truth About MrBeast Building 100 Wells in Africa. I know there was like a lot of controversy surrounding this, which I think is so dumb. He's literally helping people, but people want to criticize him. You not doing nothing to help nobody, you fucking bums. I'm talking to the people who criticize MrBeast for helping others. When you're doing nothing, you're eating hot Cheetos on your mama couch using her fucking Wi-Fi. Just the audacity of people. It's embarrassing. Anyway, let's hear what they have to say. Let's watch.
None of you motherfuckers on Twitter were going to give me the ability to. They're not going to do it. My government wasn't going to do it. So this man, out of the kindness of his heart, maybe for different reasons, I don't actually care. I just want to see with my eyes again. What I'm saying, I want my kids to have clean drinking water because nobody else seems to give them.
Period.
Like, I think people forget that aspect of it, and they just want to talk about optics. Optics is for people who are privileged. When you don't have water to drink, you don't have the luxury to care about optics.
Exactly.
You don't have water.
They ain't on Instagram.
There's controversy right now with MrBeast because he built 100 wells in Africa. And a lot of people feel some type of way. Some positive, some negative. You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished. So with that being said...
Because the story isn't that MrBeast is a Nostradamus, right? It's just based off of historical data, this was going to happen. He puts out a video where people can't hear or they see, and he's like, hey, I'm MrBeast, I fixed it. Boom. Well, it's largely gotten a lot of praise. There have been people going, yeah, fuck that guy. It's just, performance activism. He's just trying to look like a good guy. This is part of the business. Also, I'm going to disregard that lots of people's lives are made better because I'm angry. Granted, it would make sense if it was at the system and the world, but I'm also going to direct it towards Jimmy, MrBeast, because fuck that guy. And so when he released his new video, I Built 100 Wells in Africa, he kind of knew what was going to come. And in that video, he goes to Kenya, Zimbabwe, and other countries to install wells to give people drinking water. Also notably speaking to the local communities, giving their schools new equipment. MrBeast closing his video by encouraging people to donate to the Water is Life campaign at Beast Philanthropy.
I know it's weird that a YouTuber has to do all this stuff, but someone's got to do it, and if no one else is, we're going to do it.
Exactly.
As you can tell, it really does change the lives of the communities where we build them.
And so with that, as expected, he got a lot of praise for doing that, people applauding him for helping so many people, using his platform and money for good. But as he predicted, he got some backlash, with some saying that he was exploiting vulnerable communities for content, or some accusing him of being a so-called white savior and arguing he's tackily packaging a myth, mostly to children, that Africans are helpless, featureless subject of his kindness, that Africa can only be helped by a white celebrity who's amassed a
What?
How long do you think these communities have been underserved in regards to this water issue? If someone else was going to do it, why haven't they done it? How long do these people have to keep suffering before someone handles their shit? While you guys were up here virtue signaling on Twitter talking about, this is how it should be done. Somebody actually just went over there and said, I'm going to do it, and they did it.
No, but
I guess you know who's never complaining about this? The ones being helped.
sometimes I feel like a lot of people feel like it needs to be helped like Hollywood. Okay, so the person helping, it's African, so it cannot be white, right? And then that's white figure. So for it to be picture perfect, it has to be a black person that left the community and came back and did a lot of wealth by all those things that you're stating in that thing. The fact that he's
Makes no
a celebrity,
sense.
the fact that he's helping children, the fact that he saves people, can all exist without having malicious intent.
I don't even think these people think he has malicious intent. I think they're just saying he's being harmful. Because basically he's perpetuating stereotypes. But I'm like,
how?
What perpetuating stereotypes he's doing? If he gives me the ability to see, I'm happy. Because, bitch, none of you motherfuckers on Twitter were going to give me the ability to see.
They're not going to.
My government wasn't going to do it. So this man, out of the kindness of his heart, maybe for different reasons, I don't actually care. I just want to see with my eyes again.
What I'm saying?
I want my kids to have clean drinking water because nobody else seems to give them. Like, I think people forget that aspect of it, and they just want to talk about optics. Optics is for people who are privileged. When you don't have water to drink, you don't have the luxury to care about optics.
You just don't have water.
Preach.
Like, I don't think people understand what it's like to live in communities with no clean water. It affects your clothes. It affects the kind of things that go onto your body and inside your body. Like, what do you think the life expectancy is of these kids if they don't get access to this water? What do you think their ability to go to school and learn is if they constantly have diseases that they're dealing with on the inside? It's not just water that goes to feed them. How do you give birth to new kids without clean water to disinfect everything? How do you do anything
And y'all
from a
worried
medicinal
about
standpoint if you don't have clean water in your community?
Fuck, and how it looks. Y'all are so dumb.
We shit in clean water.
We do.
You know what I
That
mean?
is
Like,
That thing
fucking
that you
wild.
shit again,
it's clean
clean
water.
all over the world, which they could drink out of.
Well, of course, online, everyone sounds off on things. We actually saw some activists agreeing with parts of the criticism. With, for example, in a CNN report, them pointing to one aspiring Kenyan politician who accused MrBeast of playing into a stereotype.
You can never win. Because those same people are the same people that are going to talk shit about Bezos not doing anything with his money. And if he would have done something with his money,
you're a white
he would have been
savior.
a white savior. Like, you can never win.
This is so
You can never
fucking
win.
stupid. I
Without
hate
his
the
money, you
internet.
could do something. The guy with a lot of money does
Y'all
something,
are
and he's
so
a white
miserable.
So in addition to that, CNN talked to the founder and CEO of the water infrastructure organization Face Africa, who said, "I've been doing this for 15 years, but we've been struggling to continue the work because funding, awareness, and advocacy all take work." And adding, overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all of the attention. It's kind
You
of
worried about
frustrating, but it's also
attention?
understanding the nature of how the world is. And with
Who
that said,
cares? It's not about you.
Also adding that doing it sustainably is what matters. They're arguing that it's one thing to install wells and another to actually have them working 5 years from now. With their organization Face also going on to explain so much more of the wider context.
I can understand the frustration.
Yeah.
Like, if you're trying to make something happen off the ground, it's hard to get pennies. You see this dude coming with all this money, and he's fixing it on such a larger scale you could ever imagine. It's like, bro, I gotta ask for grants, I gotta fight for every dollar, and all of a sudden this dude come out of nowhere. I can understand your ego being hurt by that, but at the end of the day, you gotta put that shit aside because it's not about you. It's about the people you serve.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I don't agree with that.
Water. Not the fact
I would be
that
like,
you
yes,
give
finally.
people
I've been
water.
trying so hard, but he's coming through.
That's what you wanted.
And here's the truth about a lot of
Exactly.
these NGOs. A lot of them go to do this, and they do this in ways that are not sustainable. They do this in ways that require the NGO to constantly be present in order to make sure that the well keep functioning. So what ends up happening is that the NGOs ensures itself that the government has to keep funding it. But if the government doesn't, then the people are stranded because the NGOs are the only ones who have actually the ability to fix those wells. So I like the idea of what MrBeast did because he created a long-term sustainability plan, and he also made sure that these things could be maintained long-term. Now, if it turns out that's not the case, then I have no issue with people taking criticism. But my understanding is that is what he did, okay? And that's the case with most of the stuff. From what I've seen, I've never seen this man try to be charitable in a way that isn't thinking about the long-term
Long-term, yeah.
effects of it, right? He doesn't seem like he just wants to hand people a bunch of crackheads a bunch of money and be like, well, we donated. No.
Let's see where that goes.
Most of the stuff he does, it seems like he follows through on it and he really tries to make sure that they last for a long time. So, for that
love
reason
that.
alone, I have to show him some respect. Because I know what it's like to live in those communities. I know what it's like to see those communities. I know what it's like to walk through those places on a regular basis. It ain't pretty. So I could never, in my heart of hearts, fault him for that. Because I know all those people are just so happy. He didn't just do that. He built bridges in the video. He took time to really talk to the community.
I don't know if he's idiot, but
And I
I'm
just
pretty
thought,
sure he's like East
for
Side.
me, I've seen what activism
Might not
looks
be
like
good.
when it's empty calories just for your own self-adulation. And I've seen what it's like when it's meant to be impactful. And I think as long as you're really thinking through how you're going to help these people, I have no problem. I don't care if it's purple, white, blue, pink, rainbow-colored motherfuckers.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck who it is. If they want to go and help, I encourage them to help. Just make sure you're doing it properly. That's all that matters. That's it.
All those so-called companies or organizations are supposed to have people that go there. Let's say, oh, we're going to build schools. So they get a whole bunch of white girls to go build schools over there. And the next day, they undo the school or the wall to have more people to come back to pay money. And that's what I'm talking about by malicious intent. He doesn't have that. You understand what I'm saying? He just helps it and gets the fuck out. But no, it's not the picture-perfect thing that you want. Your Hollywood picture-perfect winning thing that you want. Your scenario that you want. So that's what I was talking about and referring
The
to.
consequences that come from not having access to water, right? Because beyond causing serious illness, it prevents children from getting an education because they need the help with water retrieval. This is something that disproportionately impacts girls and women as they're seen as the ones in charge of managing water and cooking and cleaning, with Face's website adding, the lost number of potential school days in education hinders the next generation of African women from breaking out of the cycle of unequal opportunity for gainful employment. With safe water nearby, women are free to pursue new economic opportunities and improve their families' lives. Also, in the situation, you have others arguing that this whole controversy highlights far more than just the issues with water in African countries, right? Some pointing to larger issues with income inequality. And understandably, while a number of places had this issue, a lot of the focus was on Kenya, as that's where a lot of MrBeast's video took place. And actually with that, CNN pointed to a Kenyan activist who suggested that MrBeast's video brought shame to the country, by saying leaders get grants for cars, but somehow there's no money to drill more holes or wells so people can have drinking water. And actually, to dive into that, you had Reuters doing a report back in 2018 noting that while Kenya's economy had grown roughly 5% annually over the last decade, it has not been equally distributed and has made the gap between the rich and the poor wider. And this is a small minority of Kenyans receive the wealth, and it's not trickled down.
That has nothing to do with MrBeast.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's not MrBeast. That's a whole other problem with other people's doing those issues. yeah, it brought light to
I
some
don't think he was
people that are
blaming
not
Mr. Beast,
helping
though.
and everything and stuff, despite the growth that they're doing. So
I think
then
he's just...
if you tackle that and you say, yo, you point at the government that should be helping them and are not, yeah, there goes your problem.
Yeah, infrastructure in Africa is like probably one of the largest things holding the development of the country back. You still have so many parts of Africa, even like growing economies that are like, we're talking about dirt roads, places that are not efficient, the way they build the roads around mountainsides rather than going through tunnels because they can't afford to. And then like inefficient roads make blockades very common, so it's very easy for trade routes to be blocked off. Africa in general has a lot of infrastructure issues. What makes it even worse is a lot of contractors are just thieves, straight up. They get government contracts, they sit on the fucking work, they go very slowly to ensure that they can accumulate the maximum amount of wealth, and because they have a monopoly on this shit, they slow it down as much as they can. You know, a lot of the things holding back Africa, and Africans in general, are greedy.
Yeah, they be corrupt.
That's just what it is. That's not a myth. That's not something I made up. That's something that's well documented.
They be pocketing the money.
Go ahead, see where the money goes when it goes to local governments. You have too many people in positions of power that are just lining their pockets. So how am I going to get mad at MrBeast? Y'all motherfuckers want to talk about stereotypes. Brother, those stereotypes are not lies.
Yes!
The whole idea about elites being corrupt, that's not lies.
I got a little sense of
How many times are we having government turnovers? How many times are we having uprisings in a lot of African nations because people want to topple the government that's just making deals with foreign governments to enrich themselves at the expense of their own people?
Yup.
Don't pretend
Facts.
that these stereotypes are not there. Meanwhile,
Even the more developed
so am I going
African
to
countries have this
issue
issue.
about them before you, or the elites, or the ones who can even afford to have a Twitter account. Think about it. Most of these people who are being served are people who don't even have access to something like a Twitter account.
Exactly.
You think they got money for
No,
data
that's
that
why
be
I said
on
they're
Twitter?
not on Instagram.
I just wanted to be able to say these parts. I think his advocacy work is great. I've never met the man, but at the end of the day, anybody who gives people the ability to see again, the blind video is probably the one that's always going to hit home for me because I'm just like, living life in darkness is so scary. And the idea that this man gave people the ability to see, like that to me is like incredibly
Never
touching.
seen that
If I was
video, but that's
struggling
dope.
and my mom couldn't see and I was like a daily struggle and I just didn't know where to turn to, and some man helped her, I would fight anybody who tried to disrespect that man. Because he gave my mom the ability to see me again and for her to be able to walk to places and take care of herself. Like, I don't think people understand the kind of impact that kind of shit has. I think it's sad that MrBeast is the one who has to do it, sure. But I would not
That's not
let
his
anybody
fault.
disrespect
How you gonna
somebody
get
who did
upset?
something. So personally, I'm very touched by a lot of the stuff he does. I think it's beautiful. And I think on YouTube, where I see so much bullshit all the time, and hey, listen, I probably play a part and cover it.
Absolutely.
I think it's just heartwarming to see that.
Imagine someone is giving your mom
They're preaching
the
today.
ability to see, and then you're like, oh, yeah, thank you for my mom's, but
Why
you're
you
really
recording?
doing that for the wrong reason.
You're doing this for clout.
No. You listen, I know you just give my mom the ability to see, but you're a white male.
So ignorant.
Listen,
This society
I know
is fucked up.
that you gave my kids clean drinking water, which will help them succeed and flourish in school and have proper development as human beings. But you're a white male.
Oh,
You are the patriarchy.
it's always people that don't have
So I need you to
Everybody.
apologize for saving my family. And then I need you to
Literally
undo
what
the
they
veil.
sound like.
Take it and go. And kill yourself.
It's crazy because it's always the people that don't have nothing to do with it and
You gotta
can't
be
do
offended.
anything about it. It's like, okay, so he did that. What are you gonna do about it?
Fuck you, niggas.
What? Nothing. Okay, so what? We're gonna leave these people not drinking clean water until the right person comes along? Is that what?
What fucking sense does that make, you idiot?
That makes no sense, man. Carry on.
Well, that's it for us. Let's do it. Anything we can.
Oh, they were preaching down in this video, okay? I agree with every fucking thing they said. And it does not matter if this is performative. It does not matter if MrBeast is a terrible person. None of that fucking matters. Who cares? He's helping so many people. What his true intentions are fucking irrelevant. He is changing so many people's lives. And y'all are worried about, oh, well, it's performative. Why is he recording it? Because that's how he gets the money, you dummies. When he's getting the views from the video, he's taking that money and helping people. So that is why he's recording it. I feel like people are probably comparing it to like these, random YouTubers who will post several videos about all their new cars and how they got mansions, but then every now and then they'll post, oh, look, I'm with a crackhead and I gave him $20. Look, y'all. Look, that is performative. You not really changing nobody's life. You just trying to record yourself doing that to make it seem like you're a good person. This is very, very fucking different. So to call this performative is just so idiotic to me, especially when you're probably not doing anything at all to help anybody. So what the fuck are you talking about? This man is changing so many people's lives. And I hate the whole narrative that, oh, he's perpetuating stereotypes and making Africa look bad. You people are so dumb. So you rather the people who are struggling in Africa, you rather them suffer in silence because you don't want the truth to be exposed. You don't want Africa to look bad. Who gives a fuck about what it looks like? The reality is the fucking reality. This is not AI. He's actually in these communities that are struggling. They exist. So to be like, oh, this is not how all of Africa looks. That's not what the fuck he's trying to convey. That's not what he said. So what are you talking about? I feel like it comes from a place of insecurity heavily, especially amongst some Africans. They feel like, oh, don't make our country look bad. It already looks bad. You don't need to make it look like anything. Even the more developed African countries, dirt roads galore. Okay, I'm not saying there aren't any nice areas in Africa. Obviously, it's a huge continent, but a lot of the countries there are struggling terribly. Okay, even the ones that get a lot of money, they still do not allocate the funds properly because there are a lot of corrupt officials who pocket the money. So like he said, there are infrastructure issues. They have a lot of problems. And to hide that, how is that helping anything? Because you don't want to look bad? Y'all are so fucking stupid. Y'all are dumb. I cannot stand people, especially the internet. I really try to distance myself from reading shit like on Instagram, looking at shade room comments and shit. I really try my best not to engage because it pisses me off how stupid people are, how miserable people are. They are never happy. No matter how much good someone can do, they will find fault in it. And it's just so fucking sad and twisted. But I'm glad he's helped so many people. Again, it does not matter what type of person he is or if he's doing this for more clout or attention. It's fucking irrelevant. He's helping so many people on such a large scale in a major way. Like, how are we talking shit about that? Y'all are weird. Let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye.